Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna, this is my mom Gina.
He is a journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
I must be an enthusiast if I'm sitting out here in the middle of all these bees, trying to talk about sports outside with you right now.
I mean, we are in the spring season right now, so all the bugs that were dormant for the winter season, which we never had one, are now really in full effect because we've had some nice weather. And so if you guys see bees flying around here, now we're going to quantify, these aren't like honey bees.
No, these aren't
like
the kind of bees that will sting you necessarily.
Attack you as a human being.
These are like wood boring bees.
Yeah.
That's why they're so big. They look like little small dogs flying through.
They're huge, but if you see us doing a little head weave and bob because they're sitting right in front of our faces because they're just hovering. They're not trying to attack us, but they're just huge.
And they're a distraction.
They're a distraction.
But this is how much I love sports and love you. Right. I'm sitting out here on my own neck with you and these bees right now. So let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to do an NBA playoff update as we have two teams that have now swept in their first round of the playoffs. And that's the Cleveland Cavaliers coming out of the weak East, and the Golden State Warriors out of the West. Okay, both teams played the NBA Finals 2 back-to-back years. Obviously, the Warriors won the first time, and the Cavs won it last year.
Barely.
And so we have the two teams that were in the finals the last 2 years have swept. And so the big question is there anyone or any franchise that can get in their way and stop them and slow them down as the playoffs continue on?
Well, you know, that's a great question, by the way. You must be a journalist. You do have that journalism.
I have a little practice going on.
Got a journalism degree.
Okay.
Well, it's a great question because the issue is, can anybody stop them? No.
Right.
But can people slow them down? I was inclined, as we did our preview a couple weeks ago, to say yes. I don't know, because the West is living up to its name, the weak East. And by being weak, it's more unpredictable.
Yes.
Like the Raptors were stinking up the joint, and now they're coming back swinging hard.
Yes.
The Hawks and the Wizards are having MMA battles. You know what I mean?
Even the Celtics and the Bulls.
The Celtics and the Bulls. It's how do you pick that?
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing you knew that was going to happen was the Cavs were going to handle the Pacers.
Right.
And the Pacers actually had a shot at them, lost by 1 point in Cleveland. So it's just, they're unpredictable. That's part of the problem when you're dealing with a weak conference. You don't know what's going to happen. As far as the West goes, I think you have a better chance of slowing down Golden State, meaning you're going to make them play 5 or 6 games, which again is what happened last time. The Cavs got to sweep everybody in the West, and they didn't sweep. They didn't sweep the Raptors, but they had a much shorter run than the Warriors. So to your question, no, I don't think anyone's going to stop either of these two teams. I think this is your finals. This is your finals matchup, the Warriors and the Cavs.
I agree. I think it's going to be very difficult for either side to take down either team. I just think, like you said, the West is so inconsistent, and the West, everyone's really just beating up each other. And so I don't think anyone's going to have enough in the tank to take on Golden State. And with them getting extra rest, just like with the Cavs, that's the best thing that could happen for those two teams is
100%.
having extra days to sit down and watch film and relax. And so, but there is a series that I do think that regardless of which team really wins, I think they would be able to give some good showmanship. The Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tonight is a big night because this could be Russell Westbrook's last game of the season. And a lot of people have been disputing between Harden and Westbrook as the MVPs, and so this is so.
I know. I just tried to ignore.
Trying hard to.
There you go.
Not break character, but there's nothing you can do with these guys flying around. Yeah. So it's 3-1, and so
back at Houston.
Back in Houston.
Yeah.
This could be the final game for
the season
for the season for the Thunder, and so I think Houston could challenge Golden State. Now they're not going to play the Warriors right away because it will be the Jazz and the Clippers. And now out of that series, the Dubs swept the Clippers this year 4-0, and they beat the Jazz 2-1 in their series throughout the regular season. So I don't even think those two teams really have much of a chance. And with Blake Griffin going out it's going to be much more difficult for LA to go ahead and try to stop.
Well, and like I said, you know, I agree with you on that. I think the Oklahoma City and Houston game is a big one. I'm interested in what's going on with the Raptors and the Bucks to see who, because I happen to think both teams would challenge Cleveland, but the Raptors have proven their ability to trip up Cleveland and make them play more games than they want to.
Yes.
I don't know. At this point, I just don't see anybody getting. Again, could someone slow one of these two teams down? Yes. Can someone stop them? No.
Right.
This is your matchup. And, you know, the Clippers, bless their heart, Blake Griffin got beat up by his own toe. I mean, it's just like, if anything that can go wrong will go wrong with the Clippers.
It's a broken record for them.
It really is.
They have a great roster. They have phenomenal players, Hall of Fame players, Hall of Fame coaches. There's no excuses for them to not at least be in the Western Conference Finals every single year. I mean, you could still argue, obviously, San Antonio, but there shouldn't be any other teams besides the Warriors, the Spurs, and the Clippers, for the most part, at the top of the leaderboards in the West.
Well, let me ask you this. With Steve Kerr being out, the Warriors, we always have said all along that we feel like the Warriors had the tougher road to the championship because they're in the West and not the East. But now that Steve Kerr is out and possibly out through the rest of the playoffs, do you think that's going to be something that's a detriment to the Warriors? Could they get tripped up? Because, you know, the Spurs have Popovich over there. Right. They have a coach.
They do have a coach. I don't think that's going to happen, just for the fact that I just know that this DNA, the DNA that is within the Warriors, is really, really strong. They play great ball. They've been there the last 2 years. They've grown up with each other.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that, not just proven, but besides the very first game of the season when the Spurs destroyed the Warriors, it has been a rout. Every other matchup that the Spurs and the Warriors.
By the way, right after the Spurs just took the Cavs out to the woodshed, just
exactly.
You know, then what happened is the Warriors came to town, did the exact same thing to the Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. And so Mike Brown is a very well-proven coach. He's coached with a lot of different teams, gotten them to the finals. The Cavs, one of them, coached the Lakers. It didn't really work out there, but he is a well-rounded coach. He knows how to manage high-profile athletes. He knows what he's doing. The Warriors are in really good hands. And at this point in time, it's more about just managing their minutes, keeping a calm head within the huddle during timeouts and during breaks. And so I don't think they're going to miss a beat. And I am hopeful for Steve Kerr to come back, because I do agree there could be some fall off, but I just don't see that with the Warriors. What do you think here with that situation?
Well, and like I said this on one of our other episodes, it's not like when your English teacher leaves and they just go down the sub list and they're like, oh, this former math teacher who's retired, come in and sit in the English class today. No, these are guys who have been on the staff. And like you said, Mike Brown's been a head coach, and he's a part of their team and the staff. He knows the chemistry. They work out with these guys every single. Tyronn Lue was on the staff of the Cavs before, and the reason that David Blatt got fired is because Tyronn Lue was really coaching the team. I mean, you'd see LeBron go to Ty during the games. He would talk over David Blatt and be like, hey, Ty, move, Dave, Ty. You know, so because these are, it's a coaching staff. So as far as the coaching part goes, I tend to agree with you. I don't think that that's going to necessarily hurt them. And, you know, there are a lot of great coaches in this league. Popovich happens to be one of them, but I agree. The Warriors have their number. The Spurs ran the Cavs off the, did a whole show on that. But for Tyronn Lue to sit up there and say, well, the Spurs just outran us, that was like, I can't say it now and not laugh about it.
It's unbelievable.
But at the end of the day, that aging Spurs team is not going to have enough for the Warriors either. So I agree. I'm interested. Who do you think, Jazz or Clippers? Because who's going to face the Warriors next?
These the sub teams for who will be playing the Cavs and Warriors for the next round. You know, Joe Johnson has really led that team. And Rudy Gobert has been a big force for them down low.
Utah, though.
And it is Utah. I'm not a Jazz guy. One of our cousins is a huge Jazz fan right now. And
well, so, they don't know nothing.
Well, we'll see. It's funny. But I would like to pick the Clippers initially. I'm just saying Clippers. It's hard to pick against Chris Paul. So I'm going to still stick with that. And then as far as the Raptors and Bucks, you know, initially I was saying the Bucks, but the Raptors with Kyle Lowry right now, is really turning on, and so I'm maybe gonna have to go with the Raptors.
Well, I watched our show back the other day. You actually picked the Raptors.
Yes.
I picked the Bucks because of Jason Kidd, who was, should have been my husband, but that didn't work out. But I'm a little bit nervous for him right now. The Raptors are hitting on all cylinders.
Exactly. They're still a young team, so
at the end of the day, though, I just don't see either one of those teams. Jazz or Clippers are not taking down the Warriors. Raptors or Bucks are not taking down the Cavs.
No, it just doesn't matter.
Doesn't happen.
We will see the Warriors and the Cavs in the finals.
It just doesn't matter.
So we can continue on these next couple rounds, but we just want to get to the actual finals.
I
let's fast forward to June.
It's whatever. It's still April, by the way.
It is. We still got some
time
to go.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah. Well, we want to say we appreciate your time, folks. Continue to follow us on all of our social media. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube is free, so subscribe to our YouTube channel and type in OTD on our Facebook page and like that as well, and continue to give us comments. And we're excited for the NFL draft coming up. We got a big special for you on Thursday. We'll see you next time, folks.